We're going to be talking now about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. So look, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was from a particular tribe called Banu Hashim, which was a subtribe of Quraysh, which was a very prestigious, if not the most prestigious tribe. And of course, the lineage of that goes back to Ishmael, who is obviously one of the two sons that we know of Abraham, or that are mentioned in the scriptures of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And so the lineage goes back to Abraham. As if you don't know already, okay, the Jews and the Arabs are actually cousins from that perspective. And what happened was, when he was born, in fact, the sacred history tells us that his mother Amina, she basically had light emanate from her when he was born. And this is a miracle, one of many different miracles that took place at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was younger, his heart was taken out and washed. Literally, he had an angelic open heart surgery that would spiritualize and to cleanse and purify his heart, the center of spiritual revelation for what would happen next to him. And the kids saw that, and that's written in our sacred histories. When he got a bit older, he started obviously working now, and he was a man with a meditative temperament. Okay, he was known in the community sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a Sadiq al-Amin. He was known as somebody who was trustworthy, truthful and trustworthy. That's why some people would go to him and basically they would leave their stuff with him. Like, for example, if they're going somewhere, they want to leave something like a safety deposit box. They'd go to his house and they say, can you take care of this one? And he was known for that. Okay, and this shows you already the trust that he had in the community. By the way, someone may object from an apologetics perspective and say, well, that's just you saying that. Obviously you will say that you're a Muslim and you're biased. But what we'll say in response to that is, being polemical here, well, actually this was used as one of the arguments in the Quran and in the Sunnah. And had it held no currency, it wouldn't have been used, or at least it would have been refuted. In other words, the things that the opponents of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ say, that he's a magician, sahir, kahin, that he is majnoon, he's insane, that he is possessed by the devil, all those things that they make about him, or the fabrications that they make about him, not one of them is not that he's not trustworthy, he's a liar. Bear that in mind, that no one actually made that. There were many incidents that he showed superior wisdom. Like, for example, the Kaaba had been destroyed at one time and they were reassembling it. And the last brick they wanted to put back in place in order to reassemble it. And every tribe wanted to put the brick, and they were saying, let me put the brick and whatever. So then they said, let the next man that comes through here, he be the arbitrator of our dispute. And it was none other than the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Obviously at that time he had not received revelation. And he said, look, I got an idea. He said, what's the idea? He said, look, put the brick in the middle here. Everyone lift it. Like, so all of you get the honor of lifting the brick and putting it back in its place, and I'm going to push it in its place. So look at that. It's an extremely wise solution to the problem that they had. So he was known for that kind of thing, and he was a trader. In fact, he was also a shepherd. You know, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as was the custom in Arabian times, he was sent to the desert basically because it helps with articulation. You get tough, you get strong. And by the way, this is a lesson for us because we are too luxurious here in the West. Like, especially if we're from a certain country, whether it's, you know, a Middle Eastern country, an African country, an Asian country, whatever, we should go back and kind of see the roughness in that country because we get too complacent and ungrateful. So the Arabs knew that very well, and they used to put their kids in this, basically in the desert, to be raised with these people, and they would pick up the language in a better way. They would have a better kind of connection with nature, and they would come out rougher and tougher. In other words, they had the warrior spirit. The Prophet ﷺ, he went through that as well, and he became a shepherd at one point. And what's really interesting about all the prophets, there's a hadith that says that all the prophets were practically, all of them were practically shepherds. And if you think about the idea of a shepherd, the shepherd actually guides the flock, and that's what a prophet does. So this is a kind of tamheed, if you like, or it's a kind of preparation for all of the prophets to the enterprise of guiding the people. What's really interesting is if you find goats and stuff like that, their eyes are actually by the side of their face, not in front of their face. So they can't really see in front that well. So they need a shepherd in order to show them the straight path. And so it's physically a very appropriate thing to have a shepherd that would literally show them the straight path. And obviously the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, in what would come, would show the people the spiritual straight path and let them know and guide them and instruct them. So after being a shepherd, he started working as a trader, which basically shows as well that you need to get out there and do work, because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was not at home doing job seekers allowance, he wasn't on the dole, he wasn't dependent on other people to maintain him like that. He was out there working hard. And in fact, his boss was Khadija, a woman who was shrewd, extremely intelligent woman, extremely noble woman who had kids before from her previous marriage. She had been a woman that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ really admired. So obviously he'd pack things, they'd go into the caravan, they'd do things. And she looked at him, she said, this man is amazing. He's trustworthy. He's always doing exactly what is expected of him, and he does more. If you want to put it in a contemporary language, he is professional. He is a professional, which shows us already that, look, at work, we need to be professional. Dawah is done by calling people to Tawheed. But you need to, at the base level, show a level of professionalism at work, with your colleagues, with your friends, because that's where it all starts, with your personal reputation. And the Prophet had the best reputation. He had the best reputation.